Aloha, everyone. This is Pastor Keith from Christ Lutheran Church in Mililani, and I am going to do a vlog here, short thing on, well, it's never short, but I'm going to do a little vlog on reopening and some thoughts about that as Honolulu, Oahu opens up, as perhaps if you're listening from elsewhere, as your life is opening up. Let me remind folks of a few things. One, not to let our guard down. And two, to remind you that we aren't letting our guard down. And I think that's the most important thing to say. There's a word out there that a vaccinated healthcare worker here on island and his travel companion, a fully vaccinated healthcare worker, tested positive upon returning from traveling through many cities on the mainland. And that is, I'm sure, a cause for alarm for folks. And I've been getting questions about that already, so I thought I'd speak to that. And also, the Civil Beat this morning had a really good article on an aerosol emphasis, that we need to be very careful about ventilation and where we are breathing and with whom we are breathing and what we are breathing. So let me talk about those in terms of Christ Lutheran Church and our Sunday worship. We've been open since last July and doing in-person worship, small group, 5 to 10 at the 8 a.m. service and 10 to 20 at the 11 a.m. service. And the reason we're doing that and still doing that and did it right through the surges, although we were paying close attention, was because we can roll the walls back. There are 3 V's, and venue is one of those for a gathering. It needs to be outdoors or outdoorsy. And when we roll back 3 walls, we're outdoorsy. Let me tell you. And the proof is in the second V, ventilation. I like to light our altar candles and watch the wind blow them out, because those of you watching online can be assured that the ventilation is certainly brisk. And on a gray, rainy day like this, like last Sunday, like what may be in store for us this coming Sunday, I don't care how cold and rainy and wet and windy it is, we are going to roll those walls back so that the ventilation is open. It is blowing anything that could be in that room right out the walls, right? Boosh, gone. I just said boosh, didn't I? I meant whoosh. I'm not sure that's much better. Anyways, I want you to know that if there's any aerosolized virus in the neighborhood, it's not going to stick around for long, and certainly not on Sunday mornings. Also, in regards to this vaccinated healthcare worker who tested positive, if you think a vaccine has a 90-95% efficacy, that means 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 people who are vaccinated are going to get infected. That means the vaccines are not perfect. And while I'm ready to get mine, I haven't had one yet because, well, I'm too young. And I have no underlying healthcare problems. So, and pastors are not essential workers. So, I just have to wait for that 16 to 64 group. I'm probably going to get vaccinated right after my cats. So, I'm ready to get vaccinated. But let's be clear, we're not going back to COVID 0. We're not going back. When we say we're reopening, it's going to be different. We have reopened, but we haven't. And so some of you have said in the next month or 2 or 3, you're going to come back to church in person. And I think that's great. And we're going to be ready for you with the 3 V's, the venue, the ventilation, and the third one, which I didn't mention, vocalization. we are going to hum a joyful noise to the Lord for quite a while. Now, I think there's going to be some singing happening around Easter time from some people who will be standing probably about as far outside the church as they can get the microphone cord to go, which means maybe way down by the playground. Kidding. And but they're going to be outside, and they're going to be singing to us, but into the wind, so that anything they are projecting in terms of aerosol is going to be blown out to sea, or at least across the road. All right. I think that's enough for now. I'm not sure how long I've talked. I do want to ask some questions for you. I've been saying what matters most, what is essential. Let me ask a question. I'll come back to it again. But as we reopen, reset, reform, what would you like to leave behind from before times, as I call them, the before times? What would you like to leave behind in terms of worship? What would you like to keep? What have we done in this past year that you find helpful? And then, how are you dealing with your stress, your exhaustion, and a sense of resiliency? That's kind of a buzzword, but how are you hanging in there? What have you done this past year that has been helpful, that you might like to share with others? And where in your spirituality, in your theology, you're thinking about God, where have you found God? Where have you experienced Jesus? Where have you met the Holy Spirit in our bodied sort of way, our mental, emotional, embodied, that's what we call incarnate, Christmas, God deep in human flesh way? So, what would you leave behind? What would you keep? How are you coping? And where have you met the Spirit of Jesus? Well, that's enough for now. And if you have any comments, feel free to make them in the below part there, or the sideways, or wherever it comes out. Feel free to make some comments, or shoot me a text. Give me a call. Fling an email at me. I'm all ears. I'm all ears. Okay. God's blessings on your day, and I look forward to seeing you in church, either online or in person. Aloha.